Yo, what's cracking, fools? Welcome to the second episode of the Don't Blame the System podcast, fools. So in this episode, we got a very, very special episode. We got two guests in the building. You may be asking, what building? This building is brought to you by the Hood Santa, Tito, a.k.a. the Hood Santa. Thank you so much for allowing us to use your office. Thank you. We appreciate it. We got Resoe in the building.
What's up,
What's
bro?
cracking, fool? What's up?
What's up, dog?
How you doing?
Good right here.
I like
shit.
your hat.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a dope hat.
Yep.
Nice dope hat. Yes, sir. All right, Rezo. So we're gonna kick this off ASAP. All right. So let us know, where you from? Where you from? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
I'm born in Mexico. They brought me when I was 4 years old. And I just been living over here for like 24 years, bro.
Where's over here?
South Central LA.
South Central.
Yeah.
24 years.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. That's longer than I've been alive. So what?
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
For real,
yeah.
huh?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How was your childhood though? What would you do for fun?
Huh?
How was your childhood like?
So, yeah, like I said, they brought me when I was 4 years old. I didn't know English. I got adapted over here. It was like, first grade when I started learning English. And, yeah, I started drawing when I was 5. And, I don't know, I liked it. And it started, I got into graffiti. When I went to middle school, high school, I took it more serious. And then was doing illegal graffiti too, so.
Well, you're doing legal graffiti or no?
Nah, it was
It was all illegal.
well, when you start graffiti, is like everybody, you don't have really good skills, and especially spray can, So I think that was a good way to practice. You know what I mean? So from there, I kept it going, bro. And then after high school, I kind of took it a little more serious.
Serious so how do you like? So a lot of people would think graffiti like that's just like a joke or that's vandalism, or how do you take that serious? What do you mean by taking it serious?
So it's weird. Not weird. That's not the word. I just learned this. Like, there's different things like graffiti, art, mural. There's like different segments of like, like people go to college and take a course and learn art, but that's not graffiti. It's like politics and all that.
Right.
So, yeah, I was kind of like in a way also like tag banging.
Okay.
Which is kind of like not good, bro. That was like kind of leading to like, like you're kind of like now you're dealing with other people beef and getting down with other dudes.
Was this while you were in high school or after?
So, middle school, it was like, middle school was kind of like little prison, bro. It was like, it was turned up, like, it was
a little prison, like little war zone, or
yeah, like it was
what
like
middle school did you go to?
John Muir Middle School.
So this was in South Central.
South Central. There was so many like different
Violence? Was there violence?
Oh yeah, bro.
And it's like since middle school.
Since middle
So what
school.
years were this? Like what around what year was
But
this?
so 2006 to 2008 was middle school. It wasn't like stabbing and none of that, bro. It wasn't like no major. It was more like fighting and
So there was a lot of fighting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fighting. I didn't like to get punked, and there was a lot of that. A lot of.
Did you get bullied a lot because you were from Mexico?
In the beginning, like first grade, kindergarten, like fools tried to clown on me, but after that it was just I adapted. So.
Fools. So what do you mean fools? What is that?
Fool?
Fools, yeah.
So I grew up saying that word,
So what does that mean?
Fool to me is like,
yeah,
like way, ¿qué onda way? Like,
okay,
like what's up, fool? Like,
Yeah, so it's just like another word for saying bro.
Yeah, there you go. A
Okay.
lot of my when I came from Mexico, the first place I lived at was East LA. So a lot of my cousins and his homies would always say fool, you know what I mean? So that word is pretty out there.
Yeah, you kind of just got used to it. It's
Yeah.
just a part of your vocabulary.
Yeah.
So after high school, how did you get, like, what are you working, or how did you start working?
So my dad, he's always been a gardener, he's always been a jardinero. And I remember when I was young, bro, like that was another thing too. When I would go to work with him, I used to draw a lot in the truck,
Okay.
In vacation time, he would be like, let's go to work. And I'll be like, all right. So I would draw, and that's where it started. But yeah, so after that, I would be like, man, I ain't gonna do this shit when I grow up, And then now I have my own route, my own land. So so gardening is more like when you're a jardinero, you just do like houses, maintenance, cut grass,
Right.
What I do now more is landscape. So like new lawns, new plants, like remodel the whole like new irrigation system. We also do trees. So I came in like the business, and I kind of like took over. Well, I bought my own route, and then I helped him out. And that's what I do, bro. I run a landscape business now, and then I do art on the side. And
So you just stuck to graffiti?
yeah.
You still do graffiti, or
So
what do you do
graffiti
now?
right now, I haven't really done like any lettering.
Okay.
It's just been really like more of art and like murals. But I still,
Murals.
I'm still in graffiti.
So murals and
Graffiti.
landscaping, gardening, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So how do you in your like how do you get a route, or how do you actually go about getting like clients for someone that wants to start, or someone that's like maybe someone that works in that and they want to like start their
Well,
own?
it's like everything, plumbing, every business. I think you first got to learn the work,
Right, yeah.
the business in like anything like restaurants. You got to know the business, and then just save up some money and invest. There's guys out there that are older. They're trying to go back to Mexico or just trying to sell the business, and that's what I did. I bought like 2-3 routes from these older guys, and then from there you just start getting recommended and start like, and then I know English, so it kind of helps too. You know what I mean?
So a route is just like a list of houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
And you do that like a route like one route one day and route another, or how?
Yeah,
how does that
and then
work?
from those routes, bro, you get a lot of landscape jobs. So the cool thing about that is I don't pay any because you could pay online to get work.
Right.
And I know people that have a landscape business that pay to get like business,
Okay.
which is good. I mean, you get big jobs.
Yeah.
But right now I don't want to do that because I don't want to like be too busy and then not focus on my art. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you're really passionate about your art.
Yeah, bro. It's fucking. I mean, that's how I met you.
Yeah.
I feel like my art has just brought a lot of unity, and it's because the other day, bro, it slipped out and I said unity. And then that shit like stuck in my head,
Now you can't even think
So
about
the homie
unity.
Hood Santa was clowning on me on that. But yeah, so yeah, no, it brings a lot of people together, bro. You seen it, like when I invite you, you're always coming out support. You bring the doves, and I met a lot of cool people. You know what I mean?
So how's the process of actually doing a mural? Do you just like you just show up and you start
So the
painting
way
on a
it
wall?
works, like a lot of people would be like, "Hey, you're not getting paid for this. You're not," and then it's like, I don't. When I do murals and that, I do what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't expect to get paid. Now if they want, sometimes they donate me paint, bro, like the owners. But for me, it's more like hundreds of people see my art, bro, and then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
So you have to get directly with the
you
owners.
just gotta get
with the
you
owners.
just get permission from the owner, and you don't gotta worry about the cops or nobody else.
Oh, okay. So
But most of the times, even the cops like pass by, they don't even know if I did get permission or not.
they just keep it strolling.
So I have homies that's done that, like where they don't even ask permission. Like they say they go on a Saturday or Sunday when the business is closed, and then they do it. And then sometimes the store's owners don't even say nothing because they look at it like, it looks cool, and they just leave it.
Yeah.
But if you're taking a risk, a chance they might buff it out, like paint it over,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So so first you go to an owner and you're like, okay.
Yeah,
So
I
like
approach
if you
him
want to
and-
approach, so first of all,
Yeah, go.
right? So like you I don't think anyone could just pull up and be like, hey, what's up, fool? Let me paint on the wall.
Yeah, of course you can't.
Like
talk
so you have to
them
know
like
how to
that.
approach people.
Yeah.
You have to know how to
Yeah.
like. Do you remember the first one you ever asked for, or was it like that you had to that it was someone that you didn't know, where you actually had to go out and speak with them? And how did you actually like how did you go about doing that?
The first ones I started getting were like little ones, little alley ones, little like how like a height of a house.
Okay.
And then the first big one that I did was a Schoolboy Q one. That one was massive. And I just talked. It's kind of hard when you talk to Middle Eastern people or like Koreans or other people that don't know about, like, they don't get what art means and this and that. So I have to I introduce myself. I tell them who I am, what I do. I show them pictures of the art because they want to see, But when it's more like Latinos and culture, they kind of get it,
Okay.
or black people. But
Okay.
when it's like Koreans, Middle Eastern guys, they kind of they don't understand it.
So being in South Central though, like who do you see is mostly the owners of the commercial buildings?
Oh, it's just it's mixed, bro.
Is it mixed?
Yeah, it's mixed. All the walls that I've gotten, it's been like mixed. Yeah, blacks, Latinos, Asians.
Right, I'm saying that. Okay, so what about in terms of like the people that live in South Central? Like,
Oh,
what kind of people?
what did I grow up?
Yeah, what kind of people?
So I
live
just grew up with Latinos and blacks.
only did that cause tension or no?
What do you mean?
Only it being like Latinos and blacks, was there tension where you grew up?
Me?
Yeah,
Or
where
in
you grew
general?
up in? Yeah, in general.
Oh yeah, bro. I've gotten fucking middle school. I remember some fools, they didn't even bang on me. They were just like, fuck Mexicans, and they they pocket checked me. That was a thing. Pocket check, take all my
Everything from empty your pockets.
yeah. So there was a time that I was going through that, like around 2006, 7, 8. But I have a lot of black homies, bro. They're fucking cool.
All right.
It's just like everything. There's good apples and bad apples. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There's definitely some bad apples all over the place and good apples all over the place.
Yeah, but it's tough, bro. I managed to like keep my head up, and yeah, I've gotten down with a lot of fucking people. You know what I mean?
Right. So you say that you put your art on, like, you say hundreds of people see them, right? People pass by there.
Yeah.
1, 2, you make videos and you post them online and stuff like that. Does everyone love what you do, or do you get mixed reactions?
For the most part, bro, a lot of people like what I do. I mean, like I said, I try to put like good stuff out there, you know, and I don't really get like too much bad feedback like of me doing something. Like, I think art like doesn't have a lot of negativity in it, bro. Like, art brings a lot of good energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah.
So to you, is it it's because I know that you, every time you like to you do a wall, or you doing something, you always want to do like an event, right? Something associated to it, so that people could come see it and check it out. Let me ask you, for you, is it more about getting the finished product, or is it just about like the whole process? Because do you paint because you're like, oh fuck, like I want to paint, or do you go and you're like, oh, I want to work on it, or do you go with the attitude, I want to finish it?
Okay, that's a good question, bro. And I to this day, bro, I'm still learning. Like, I feel like I'm still learning, bro. Like, even with like, so I didn't go to school for art, and I feel like maybe I should take a course. Like, there's things that I see, I'm like, oh shit, like, damn, you know what I mean? But that's just to tell you the same thing, like you said. Sometimes, yeah, I have the mentality. I used to have the mentality, I'm gonna go and finish it. But I learned that, like, when I have that mentality, I've done it, and I go home and I'm like, damn, I should have done this. I should have done it like this. Like, even though I have the sketch, I still have things that come in my head like, oh, I should have done this and that. So sometimes I try like not to even finish it. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let me ask you something, because that's actually a pretty good topic that you said that. So for example, if you go home, right, and you feel like you're second guessed what you did, or you want to change it, do you feel like that is just fear of how people are gonna see it, or is it because, like, I'm asking you because a lot of people sometimes they don't even do anything because they're scared of that to happen. They don't want to second guess themselves. Or how do you deal with just being confident the first time and not eating yourself up afterwards, or regretting what you did, or because realistically, I mean, in your case, you can go ahead and you can go and change it, right? They gave you permission, you can buff it out, repaint it. But a lot of people, when they do art, it's like once you put it out, for example, music, like you can change, like, you can't, like, the song is out, you know, like you can do a remix or whatever the case may be if you want to change it up. But how do you deal with believing in yourself and saying, like, okay, I believe that this is the final product? Is it what you feel, or is it, oh, I feel like the people actually like this one?
So 100% of all the time, the people, well, like, maybe, yeah, most of it always like the art, right? They always like it, and I go home and be like, nah, I could have done better. I know I could.
Right.
So I don't care, like, with what they say, because most of the time they like it, because they don't do it like you said. So they think it's already dope, like.
Yeah.
But I go home, like, feeling like, damn, I know I could do a little better, bro. Like, man, like ansias, like, anxious, like, I know I could do a little better.
Is that okay? So the reason why I'm asking you is because, like, based on what you think, do you feel that that's just you're motivated to be better, or you're scared of not being good enough?
So I think it's more of like I said, I'm still learning. I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, I wonder as I go, if I'm getting better, and I think I am, So I'm like, all right, I'm okay with it. Like, if I'm not the best, I don't care, bro. I do it because I like it, Right. But I know I sometimes tell myself, like, nah, I think I could do better, because I want to go home and look at it like, damn, that's sick,
Yeah. So the thing, okay, so the reason why I'm asking you all these questions is because the podcast is called Don't Blame the System, right? Yeah. A lot of people don't know That's honestly the questions that I've been getting the most is what does that what system?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
In this case, if you've been through, I would say, uh, many systems, right?
Yeah.
One system would be just your environment.
Yeah.
Another system would be you come from somewhere else
Yeah.
into this country,
Yeah.
and then another system would be art,
Mhm.
and then so for example, you can easily be someone that that, and I'm sure you know people that are like this, that are like they feel like just because they are from Mexico or they're not from here that they can't do what they want or
Yeah.
they can't
Yeah.
or
I
they
get what
can't
you're
follow
saying.
their dreams.
Yeah.
So that's what don't blame the system is.
Yep.
Don't blame the system is how did you take responsibility in doing what you want? How did you take responsibility in starting your own route with your
Yeah.
business or whether it would be with art? How did you feel like you didn't blame
No
others
excuses,
and you
right?
took responsibility?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like-
How did you feel like you did that? Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I just I like you said how do I word it? There's a lot of times where like a lot of people close the doors, a lot of no's and a lot of downfalls, and it's true. Like you always just got to keep it going. I don't have citizenship. I have DACA, but that didn't stop me. You know
Right.
what I mean? I kept it going. I had people try to clown on me. Like I have homies that clown, and I don't get butthurt. But when sometimes like you kind of get too far, where like you're super wetback. But I know,
Super.
but in a
Is it
way
the
like
super
but I
or-
know like they it's not like they don't mean it jokingly. They're kind of like throwing like low blows. I kind of started to think like, damn, bro, like that has nothing to do with
The conversation.
like with what I'm doing. Like look, I'm from over there. You're born here. You could do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like I don't know, maybe because I'm from over there, I come with a different mentality, mindset. Like I need to do good. You know?
Right. Did at any point did you feel like you wanted to give up on art? Did you feel like you were just like, man, you know what? Either this isn't for me, or like people tell you like you like maybe you don't get paid. So like,
No, I get paid, but for those walls.
right?
that
You
I do-
get yeah, because you also do people kind of hit you up for custom
Oh yeah,
walls,
I
right?
get paid for that.
Yeah,
But the murals is all just me.
Out of love,
Out
yeah,
of love, bro.
and that's the
Yeah.
so you do. I see you do a little bit of both. You do
Yeah.
you do big murals and then you just
Commission work, yeah.
and yeah, commission work exactly when you can actually go. I was there last time was a skate ramp, right? So that's pretty cool. Like the kid was excited and everything.
Yep.
So that's always like pretty dope to see that. But at one point did you ever feel like just giving up on
Giving up?
our art or just feel like it wasn't worth it? And then what like
So in 2000, so when I got out of high school, 2012, I got a job right when I was 17, and I started working, and I was just working. I wasn't even like after high school, I stopped tagging graffiti, all that. I was like, dude, I'm working.
you weren't working with your dad?
No, so when I got out of high school, I used to get out of school 12th grade. I used to get out like at 9 in the morning. So I was like a nerd, bro. I was very smart in school, so I had home. I had all this. The rest of the classes were home.
Okay.
So I used to go home early, and then I had a job, and then I worked there for 3.5 or 4 years. We did screen printing,
Okay.
like silk screen. And yeah, like I stopped painting, bro. And then in 2015, 16, I did like a little bomb or like a little graffiti piece, and it kind of like inspired me back to do it. But I would always still draw at home and like, but not on the street. I wasn't like, that's when I really started taking it more serious, 2016. And then in 2018, 19 is when I took it more serious.
So how long did you say you had the job for?
Like 3-4 years, I think.
3-4, and then it was just like
Regular 9 to 5.
Yeah. Okay, but so even then you still had. You say like you were still painting your house or whatever.
Yeah,
the
like
case may be.
canvases and like
but
drawing.
you still had time, you know. If it was 9 to 5, you still had time to go out in the streets and paint. But what exactly stopped you though?
What it was is not that it was more of like I didn't know how to like I said, I didn't know how to go about and get mural. I don't think I was ready, bro. Like with the spray cans, I kind of didn't want to come out and just it's like I was kind of like practicing and like you know
Yeah.
what I mean. It wasn't like because spray can is not the same as paper, especially if you're doing a wall, it's not easy,
Mhm.
And then I usually freestyle everything, so it takes time.
Yeah, and I seen that freestyle. So you don't draw it on the wall, or you don't project it on the wall.
Yeah.
You just off a picture, and then
Yeah.
you just go off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides that, so was there like so the reason why I'm asking you that is a lot of people sometimes can feel like giving up on their art because it's not returning,
Yeah.
and then but sometimes that's not like
Yeah.
let me ask you something. Like, do you feel like that art is like your happy place?
So I can't paint when I'm like, if I'm mad or if I'm going through something, I can't paint. Like, it doesn't come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like in 2016, I didn't paint for like a good time. I had got in a car accident and I was just going through stuff, and it doesn't come out, bro. So
Yeah. So how do you come back from that? So you had a car accident?
yeah,
Was
and
it like
bad.
severe?
I had a bad car accident, and so it kind of messed me up. But I came back and I was just like, I felt a little better, and I just started going hard. Just started to say, you know what, I'm alive. So,
So was that I like awakening moment
yeah,
for you?
it kind of was.
Well, you mind talking about what happened?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you do mind, or yeah, you want to talk
Yeah, I
about?
don't care, bro. I'll tell everybody. I'll tell the whole
All right,
world.
tell us.
Yeah, just typical. I went out to a bar and I don't smoke weed, so I hit the blunt like 2-3 times and it kind of crossfaded me, so I ended up getting in a car accident and
Oh,
I went in the ditch, bro. Like the
Like
big ditch, and I could have died, bro. And my homie was with me. He was just like blessed that we were alive,
Yeah. Were you like partying a lot at the time, or?
I still kind of party, but now I took it to like more like chill, It was more like I like just going out, bro. I like having fun. I like meeting people. I'm not that guy that drinks and starts trying to fight people. I'm a happy person, you know what I mean? And I don't drink because I'm suffering or I'm going through stuff. I don't know. It's fun. You know what I mean?
You think it's fun?
I mean, it is.
So what do you feel when you're?
But I'm not an alcoholic where I crave like, oh, if I don't drink, like, oh shit, like I'm, like.
So, do you drink like at your house too or not?
Nah.
So only like socializing.
Yeah, cause I know like if I drink at the house, it's just more like, I don't know, it's more chill. I have, but it's more chill. Like, but I don't go out to get drunk, bro. I don't go out to get like faded. I just sip and
get
chill.
hammered. Nah, you don't do that.
Nah, I don't. I never get. You never will see me get like drunk.
That's good. That's good. Me neither. You never see me drunk either. So what else what other things like are you working like in terms of?
Well, so
art?
yeah, before I met my boy the Hood Santa, so I'm part of his local Hearts Foundation now. I'm a member. I would, like you said, when I was doing murals, I started I like always helping people, bro. Like even in school, everywhere, I like letting my homies copy. I've always like gave out. And I always like.
That's not helping, fool. You can't. That's not even helping.
Yes, it is.
They have to learn, fool.
Okay, well, I'll let them copy, but I'll explain to them. I'll explain to them. So, but yeah, it came out of my heart to just being a good person and helping out, bro, what I can. And I was doing what you see when I was doing my own little events, like, I had giving out stuff or whatever.
All right, so let me ask you something. What exactly have you been doing with the Local Hearts Foundation, and what is that about?
So so like I said, my boy Tito, I know we got along very good. I like what he does. He's one of the few people I have ever met that has a good heart. You know what I mean? He does a lot, and I clicked with him, bro, and I like what he does, and he likes what I do, and it just brought us together where like I do art, and it brings more I was about to say the word unity. Unity, bro.
So what do you guys do like for the Local Hearts Foundation?
So there's a lot of things Tito does. He'll talk to you on his podcast about everything he does, but for my end, I try to help him as much as what I can. Like I go like load up the boxes. I'm trying to bring in resources. I brought in a good resource, donated money to him.
Okay.
$10,000. One of my clients that I do landscape.
Okay.
It's actually he passed away last year. He was in the film industry and he would do all like the Muppets. Remember that the Star Wars. His name was Isidore Malfonsky. He passed away last year. So his wife donated last month like $10,000 to the foundation,
And so you do landscaping for them.
yeah.
That's how you
So
met them.
I've since I was a kid, my dad always had that client, and to this day, like I see her, she's
Right.
a
So you guys mostly is most of your work like high end areas? I'm assuming.
So no, I do regular. I do what I can, bro. I try not to be as cheap. Like my dad was always like trying to help out and charge what it is, and I get it, but we're good at what we do, so I feel like we just charge what it is, not
Yeah.
rip off.
Yeah.
And that's why my character is Jack. Jack in the Crack, because I have a landscape contract with them. I do like 32 jacks.
32 Jack in the Box. For those that don't know what Jack in the Crack is. So you have a contract with Jack in the Box. So you're
Yeah.
just
I do
So
residency, whatever.
someone would assume that to get a contract with Jack in the Crack, you have to be some sort of white corporate guy. I
Nah,
mean, no
it's-
offense, but you're not a white corporate guy. so how did that go about? How do you
Nah,
like that? How do you like that up?
my sister, she knew somebody, and it's who you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's they like what we do. So I mean, obviously they didn't. We've been with them for what 7 years now, I think.
Damn. So all of those
So they're franchise, so they're
you cut their bushes and stuff like that, or
everything, trees. I do all their sprinklers or maintenance. We do.
And this is weekly or when they call you
This is maintenance. Some of them are weekly, some of them are every other week,
on contract.
depending on which ones need more. Like right now, we cut last week we cut 8-10 trees for them. Like some of them have a lot of trees, some of them have like a couple. You know what I mean?
That's dope. Have you ever thought about branching to other like companies like that?
Yes, like I said, I just don't want to right now because I don't want to get. See, I can. The only thing it's hard to find reliable workers. So like in that case, my dad would be like the manager, which he kind of is, and I kind of go out and try to get the accounts. But like if we was to branch out, we would need more people. It's just hard to find reliable. It's not like back in the day.
What about like people like they just don't show up or they're just not they just.
So it's,
Do you
just,
feel like let me ask you something? So let me ask you
it's
something.
a lot of drunks.
I feel like a lot of people just don't like working like.
Yeah, it's not
anymore.
like back in the day, bro.
That's what I was about to say. I feel like people used to like, I don't know, for some reason I used to work at a Ross and I felt like the people there just they just didn't work.
Yeah.
Like they would complain that they get paid. They'll be like, "Oh, I don't get paid enough for this," but they weren't doing anything all day. Fool, and I was like, how did that even make sense?"
Yeah,
Like,
well, find another job,
yeah. So being like a business owner and stuff like that, I know you say it's hard, but how can you actually overcome that? How can you actually look for employees though? Where have you looked for? Do you
So
feel
it's
like,
more like word of mouth. We had good guys. Sometimes they've left back to Mexico. Some have left back. Some are just drunks. They paisa.
Yeah.
Like our culture, they drink and then they miss a lot, and it's just like damn. Like
yeah, you need them to be punctual. And stuff.
yeah. So, but I still manage to like keep my clients happy, bro. Sometimes like there's been times where like they don't show up, like the guys, and I'm like I have to like tell the clients. I be honest, like, hey, you know what, my guy didn't show up, he got drunk. I'm not gonna lie and be like, hey, I can't go because I just tell them the truth, and they appreciate that. And I'm like, can I reschedule? And they're like, yeah.
Nah, I would have straight fired you, fool, straight up.
Who, me?
Nah, if you would have told me that your employee got drunk, I would have been.
Well, then
nah.
I told them that that's why he got fired.
Oh, you fired them.
Well, yeah, I kind of like give him a punishment,
You're like, nah, you're not good for a week.
for a
fool.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, don't come for a week.
Yeah. So
Ah.
that is a lot of so the business kind of helps me a lot, like to invest in myself, like with the murals, and like if I could like give back to local hearts or try to get out there and have a lot of freedom, to just
Right.
enjoy it.
Right. Yeah, going back to the local hearts though. So, I see you did the most recent mural that you did had local hearts on
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
So that was kind of like Laker colors, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
it's yellow.
Yeah, so that's pretty dope. And then you guys, what were you guys giving out there?
So the main purpose of that event was for the vendors, street vendors, protect street vendors.
Okay.
So I collaborated with Gucci Ghost, his aka Trouble Andrew. Well, he's a Trevor Andrew, aka Gucci Ghost, and my boy Hood Santa. He made the collaboration happen, and yeah, we did it for an awareness of the street vendors.
Yeah, because I see that you guys have vests that says protect the street vendors.
Yeah.
So Why? What is that? Like, what is that about?
So that's Tito started that, the Hood Santa. He started that. It was more of like a message awareness. You know, we're tired of all the vendors getting attacked and bullied and harassed. And it's just like we need to stand up and put a message out there. So, you know, murals now is like people see that it's a message. It's a positive message, you know?
Yeah. That's good for sure. That's definitely
Yeah,
good
yeah.
because honestly, there's some lady on my iPad. Sells nieve. That's just bomb. Strip out.
Yeah,
One time one of my aunt was like, "Oh, you know, like, has anyone like bothered you or anything like that?" And they she's like, "Nah." Should I anywhere I go, like even when there's like cholos or stuff like that,
Yeah.
like they'll tell her like, "Oh, you know, if anyone bothers you, like just let us know, like we'll take care of it." And
that's
stuff
good,
like
bro.
that.
Yeah, it sucks.
So
for
like
them.
they show love. Yeah, it's always good because they well, you know, they just carry. The most of them they just carry cash, you know, a bunch of cash and a bunch of goods.
Yeah.
So they can be like an easy target. But that's good to share that message. Well, what do you think is like a message that you would like to share, like for people that feel like lost or unmotivated?
Depending on their situation, I mean, like my mom always says, like everything has a solution. Well, you know, most of everything has a solution except death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I said, I'm blessed to be alive from that accident and other little things that could have happened. You know, I live in a really bad neighborhood, so I feel like you could do you could do anything you want, bro. You know, you put your mind to it and you could do it. You know.
How do you put your mind into it though? Like how?
You have to.
Yeah. So how can you convince yourself to believe in yourself, or how do you believe in yourself? How do you do it?
That's a good question. I mean,
How do you like? I literally mean like, how do you do it? Like what
how do I do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I just maybe the way I carry myself. I just like I like being friends with everybody. Carry myself. I meet people and you meet another person and it just gets you around. You know what I mean? And it's been happening. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to like be like one day to another like the superstar. I'm having fun with it too, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. Like, well, you see the things we do
Yeah.
and the skits now. I mean, I never used to do skits, but like kind of doing skits now.
Are you camera shy?
At first, yeah, I was. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people, bro, before all this Instagram used to tell me, like, a lot of, like, even homegirls would be like, Rezo, you need to carry a camera with you. Like, you're always out in restaurants and bars and doing stuff, but you never post it.
Yeah.
But it's not the same when it's a camera, you know. It's just like, and then I'm kind of getting used to it now, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm a character, bro, but when it comes, I kind of think about it too much.
You think about, like you overthink what you're going to do on camera?
Yeah. And when we're not on camera, I just go with the flow, you know. But I'm getting used to it.
Yeah, I remember we were at what was it, Live and Die in LA, huh?
Oh yeah.
And then there's like a shitload of people just right there staring, like just watching you, just watching you paint.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Do you like that, or do you like working like in private, like where there's no one there?
So I just realized that the other day, Tito told me that Hasana told me, think you concentrate more when you're alone, and I didn't realize it. And I was like, oh shit, I do. I mean, I know what I'm gonna do already when there's people watching me, but when you're alone, it's more like you're in your own zone, and because even that little talking or that little sometimes could like, you know,
disrupt. Yeah,
like you're in the flow and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, fool. Have you ever been to a funeral?
Have I ever been to the funeral?
To a funeral.
To a funeral? Yeah.
Like close relative?
How close? Like
No, I don't know. Like
I don't think I've ever been to like I've been to like far away uncles, cousins, but I've never been to one super close, bro.
Super close.
Yeah, I've never cried.
You never cried?
Because I went to them, but you know how you
you never cried at a funeral?
Yeah,
I thought you said you never cried.
No.
I was like, that. It's a big bad guy right here, dog.
Yeah, I've never been in a position where I went to a funeral and I cried like somebody close, and it's scary, bro, because you never know the day tomorrow. Yeah. Just, you know, that's why I try to be. Well, I don't try. I am a good person, and you know, because you never know what will happen. You know.
Have you? Well, the reason why I'm asking you is because obviously you know I go to funerals like every day. You know, this is just something. Do I go to funerals?
Is that you? Nah.
Yeah, fool. That's me. I'm not that guy, by the way. So I go to funerals every day, fool, and that shit is like, you know, it gets.
That's crazy, bro. Because you deal like you have it like, not comparing it, but you're okay. So you're in a zone where like you know how police officers and ambulance, all they're dealing with is negativity.
Yeah.
So all you're dealing with is emotions and and all sad and all that, and it's like it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You have to have a a big good mindset, you know.
Yeah, it's hard, but at the same time, it's kind of not that hard, and it's kind of something that I was one like kind of just forced into, and then two something not really forced into, like no one forced me to do it, but I did it as a kid to where I didn't even understand what's going on,
Yeah.
and I kept doing it until I understood what was going on, and I feel like my brain adapted around that like too much.
Okay.
So that's like the
You
like
got
the-
used to it.
Yeah, I got used to it. I got used to being around it. Like that's normal. Like it's just like it to me it's just So like when I go to a funeral, right, I have to tell people like, oh, so and so is at peace, right? So and so is at peace. So when I say, you know, this person that died is at peace. So when I have to tell people, I have to go to a funeral, right? I have to be like, all right, fool. So well, I don't tell them like that, you know. I'll be a professional and shit. Todo el pedo with my tie. I'll be like, so did you? So I'll be like, you know, we're gonna do the dove release. It's a symbol of this. You know, I'm pretty good at what I do.
Hey,
too.
remember when I first met you and I was like, how do you do it, fool?
Yeah, for I was doing the professional full activated full.
Yeah.
So basically, it's kind of like you have to transform, right?
Yeah.
Like to go up there and
Yeah,
talk to
professional.
them.
Yeah.
And so I have to tell them like this person that passed away, like just know he's at peace now.
Yeah.
You know, this person is not suffering. So when I have to do that for every day for 2-3 times a day, the only peace I know is that.
Yeah.
So that's just crazy, you know that. So it's like, and I ask you, have you ever been to a funeral? Because a lot of people have been to a funeral where it's like very very life changing, you know, where it's like the first time you actually realize like well, there's a body there, because I seen bodies, you know, like buried, burned, all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, you've been
So
there.
yeah, so when you see like damn, like that's a body, or if you touch the cold body, like it can shift your perspective. So I was gonna ask you if you had witnessed something like that, if it shifted your perspective in any way, or any, like I know you had like you said, like a near death experience where you possibly couldn't have made it,
Yeah.
but have you had where like
Somebody
any
close.
death nearby, nothing like that?
So that's one thing that I try not to think of. Like that's why I kind of don't like watching the news,
Yeah,
because I get worried. So if it happens, I feel like if somebody ever close, like I think it will kind of mess me up, you know?
yeah,
Because like I mean, it hasn't happened, so I know it will affect me, but I have to be prepared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I know you're very strong about it because you see that every day. You
Yeah.
deal with that, bro. So I could just imagine like one day I get a call, my sisters, my dad, mom, anybody, you know.
yeah.
But it's part of life, bro.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people have to like for example, don't blame the system. You can easily blame your parents as to why you couldn't do this or why you couldn't
Yeah.
do that or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And in the blink of an eye, they won't be here.
Yeah.
So instead of blaming them, you know, you can easily say, you know, they've been through what they've been through. They did whatever
Yeah.
they did, whatever the case may be. But now I'm gonna take responsibility. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna show them different. You know, if your
Yeah.
parents didn't love you, trust me, if your parents didn't love you and you love them, you're gonna feel more better than if you do the exact
course.
same thing. If you do the
'Cause it's
exact
in
same
your
thing
heart,
back,
yeah, yeah.
if you hate them back, you're gonna be like, you're never gonna feel,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
something else. So
Yeah, I have yeah, like you said, I mean, as long as you're good to yourself and you're true to yourself and you do good, everything will just
and to the people, because
Yeah, of course.
you never know. You never know when
Yeah.
when you're anyone, like you said, you never
Yeah.
know. Like you can just get a call and it may be, you know, hopefully not, you know, but it can be, you know, family or friends or
and then you
or-
stay with that argument. And it's like,
yeah,
damn, bro.
that last argument or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. So we just want to encourage you, fools. So if you have any last motivational speech for any fools, you want to let them know something.
Any motivation? I mean, I'm just keep going. If you guys love something, just keep doing it. Don't rush it. Just do it. I do it. You know, I'm having fun with it.
Yeah,
You know, and it's going good. I mean, I met you. You're a good person.
yeah, appreciate it.
Hood Santa, good person. You know, so
I'm
I
sure
like-
you
I
met
like
some
that.
crazy people too.
Huh?
I'm sure you met some crazy people too.
oh
'cause
yeah,
niggas-
bro.
I seen at the man. Sometimes there's people. Oh, last time we were there, no, I think there was some guy who just started talking shit for no reason.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah, and like
I
for,
deal with
yeah,
shit. I dealt with shit like that growing up, bro. But I've learned to just before I would just like fight back, but now as I'm growing up, I just realize like sometimes it's not that I'm scared. It's just more like, fuck, if I beat this fool up, it's gonna just make it worse. Or I just be low key about it, get at him later, You know what I mean? Cause when I done murals, that was actually my first time somebody ever tripped on me, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big ass mural.
Yeah, it was like, damn. So I was just like, I kept my mouth shut because I knew what if he came back and just messed up my whole mural, you know?
Yeah.
And I get it. There's people like that have an old school mindset where they don't like art in their hood, you know. But I'm just trying to do something good. But for the most part, a lot of hood people support me, bro.
Yeah.
They like what I do.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
They like what we do.
So that's the first. This is gonna be the first half of the second episode. So we're gonna go ahead and be right back, guys, after this short little commercial for our sponsor. So shout out to our sponsor. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, what's cracking, fools? Thank you for tuning in to the second episode of the Don't Blame the System podcast. And this episode is brought to you by Los Pinches Gummies. So check it out, fools. They got some fucking gummies, and they come with the special sauce. So you fools can go ahead and check them out at the Avenue 26 Night Market every single weekend. They got a website coming out, Latina family owned. So make sure you fools go ahead and support them. Look, they got the carry-on special sauce. Drizzled in on top of the peach rings. They got all types of gummies. Got the rest of them right there on the table, but a lot of sugar is bad for you, so we're only gonna eat them one at a time. Oh, that's scrumptious. Yes, sir. Shout out to Los Pinches Gummies for sponsoring episode 2 of the Don't Blame the System podcast. Tap in at Los Pinches Gummies. Let's go. All right, what's cracking, fools? Welcome to the second part of the second episode of the Don't Blame the System podcast. Once again, shout out to our sponsor, Los Pinches Gummies. Thank you. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys tap in, check them out. So we got a very special guest in the building. We got Hood Santa Tito, a.k.a. Hood Santa, a.k.a. Local Hearts Foundation, a.k.a. Reso's best friend. Reso's very happy Reso's very, very happy that you're here with us today.
Oh, man, thank you, brother.
He's been telling me that he's like...
He's my manager now, dude.
Yeah, far in love with you.
Yeah,
so
he's my manager now.
That's good. So let us know. You want to go by Tito or the Hood Santa?
Tito's fine.
Tito's fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're going to start off with Tito, where's Tito from?
I'm born and raised in Long Beach, bro. I was born in Long Beach many moons ago. Raised in Long Beach to about maybe the age of 23, 24. Moved to Downey, bought a house in Downey, settled down in Downey, raised my children in Downey. So yeah, I'm out here now in Downey.
So 23?
About 22, 23, yeah.
So that's first of all, pretty young for a lot of fools to be buying a house.
No, I didn't buy a house at that age.
Okay.
I moved out. Okay, yeah, okay. I made some money in the music industry. I produced some music for Snoop Dogg and the East Siders back in the days.
That's when you were young.
Yeah.
20s.
Yeah, 20s, okay. And then I had to get out of the neighborhood. My wife thought it would be a good idea for us to leave, you know. And I didn't want to, like most of us, right? You're born and raised in a city that you love and you cherish with everything, you know, in your heart. And my wife was like, I think it's time for us to move out, you know, raise our children somewhere else. Just because you made it in Long Beach, you know, doesn't mean our son would have the same chances. Because, you know, it is a gang riddled neighborhood, you know, where we grew up, that kind of deal. So we moved out of Long Beach and we moved to Downey.
Right. So you said that it was pretty hectic with gangs and stuff like that. So how much was the influence of gangs for like a young teen or someone young growing up there in Long Beach during that time?
Yeah, man, it was pretty heavy. It was pretty interesting. You know, it's almost like you're like next in line, you know.
Yeah, forced into it.
Yes, you know, my family's all gangbangers, majority of them. Not all of them. My brother's not, but you know, some of my sisters were, and my cousins were. But my brother said, "Nope, you ain't doing that." And my brother was on top of me. When I was a young kid, he taught me how to break dance. I became one of the best break dancers in Long Beach, etc. You know, then he said, "Hey, you're gonna play football now." I became pretty good at football. And then about middle school, I hated school. He challenged me. He said, "Yo, bro, if you get a D in one class, I'll buy you a skateboard," because he saw me riding skateboards. So I got a D. Guess what class?
P.
ESL. And I'm American. English as a second language. You know? So my brother bought me a board, and then I fell in love with skateboarding. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to skate. I used to skate when I was younger too. So that's good. You had kind of that person that guided you, that kind of kept you away. And so I know you're saying that you took part in in music. And so I'm assuming during that time, like you said, maybe Snoop Dogg was that when he was starting? Were you?
No. Snoop. I did the music for Snoop in '99. That was my very first. There's a record up here. It's Top Dog. It's a platinum record.
Right.
Means over 1 million albums sold.
Yeah.
I think it's about like 4 million records sold right now. But yeah, no. My brother stepped up because my father committed suicide on Christmas. So I was 6 years old, and then my brother stepped up and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be the man of the house." And respect to my brother, because he himself was just a kid, you know.
Yeah.
He had to be no more than maybe about 13, 14.
Okay, yeah.
For him to step up and take over being a man for all of us is commendable. I love my brother for one, for him doing that for us. So yeah, he was pretty much the authority that I listened to, you know, because my mom was a vendor. My mom was a door knocker. She would go door to door selling whatever, Levi's shoes, whatever she can get her hand on. She would go to Mexico and leave us at home, that kind of deal. So yeah, when my dad committed suicide, we were extremely, extremely poor. You know, like most of us are poor, but we were extremely poor. We went from having, my dad was a diesel mechanic, and he broke his back, to my mom being just a vendor. And that definitely put a damper, let's call it, on our life, in the struggle of being poor and not having new clothes for school and that kind of deal, and not having a backpack. I never had a birthday party in my life till I turned 45, and I threw myself my very first birthday party, and it was because we couldn't afford those things. I never got to go back to school shopping because we couldn't afford those things. So that is where I'm at now. That's what's pushed me to create a foundation, which I run now. It's called Local Hearts Foundation. I am the director of it, and we have some board members, people that come in with ideas, with ways that we can do more for the community, and we sit down and huddle up and figure out how we can help people.
Right. Yeah. So we'll definitely get into the Local Hearts Foundation, but I'm sure you already told me there's a lot of hardships, right?
Yeah.
But there's don't blame the system. A lot of people can easily get lost and just blame their surroundings. They can easily just say, you know what? So for instance, my dad is someone that likes to drink a lot. Okay. I could easily be someone that likes to drink a lot.
Yeah. My dad too.
Yeah, so it's a delicate subject, right? You can easily take the route that your dad took one day, right? And a lot of people question why they shouldn't do that, why they shouldn't be like their parents, or how what kind of first of all, I know that I can tell people that kids that first of all it's not your fault, like for what your parents are going through. Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate something on that?
Yeah,
for
of course.
Kids that sometimes feel guilty. Sometimes a lot of kids run away because they feel like they're the reason of the problems, when in reality, a lot of parents are really dealing with their own problems.
Yeah,
they never got fixed themselves or whatever.
Or they had a bad upbringing too, and they don't know how to teach, and they don't know how to lead. That's kind of what happened with with us. Like I think about that. My mom had, obviously, and my dad had a really poor childhood. From Mexico, Guadalajara. My mom shares stories that she was working when she was 4. She was one of the little kids you see selling chicles. Like when you're crossing the border or whatever, right? She had that kind of life. So it's not. You can't really blame anybody.
Right.
You kind of gotta just say, okay, okay, that happened. I don't want that for me. What should I do so that doesn't happen to me? Now, if your dad is an alcoholic and he set nothing but bad examples for you, why would you want to follow that, right? Exactly. That should be a sign of, hey, run away as fast as you can from drinking, because it causes nothing but heartaches and headaches, right? So if there's anything I can share with the youth or whatever is, alcohol. I read the other day, alcohol. There's more people in prison, sitting in prison, because of alcohol than anything else.
Just affects your whole
you commit
way of thinking.
Yeah, they said that alcoholics. I don't remember what it was exactly, but they said that if you're a young kid and if you don't stop drinking by the time you're like 23, 24, then you're gonna have a harder life. Okay. And then they said if you stop drinking about 27, 26, but you stop, you're going to get there eventually, and you're going to have a lot more obstacles than the person that stopped at 23. He's going to be there, or she's going to be there a lot faster. You're going to have a lot of catching up to do. Right. So those things catch my attention because, it's like you start thinking like, man, alcohol's everywhere. Alcohol's everywhere. It's almost a trap. It's like 100 degrees outside, and they got them in the glass container. It looks like, and it's drippy. They got all this cool art,
ice and
right?
everything.
It's like it's a trap. So yeah, I would tell kids, man, this might sound cliche, but stay away from that. Stay away from those things that anything that's going to alter your mind and make you feel comfortable in your own skin. Stay away. You should be comfortable no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's definitely good. How was it? Because growing up, skateboarding, you can get a lot of bad influences, right? And I know you said that your brother was on top of you, but how did you overcome people trying to get you to do certain things, or if you did, how did you stop doing certain things? And do you feel like music saved you? Because I know you said you're involved in music. Or how was the transfer as well from skating to music? Or how was that?
Well, what's funny is I went from breakdancing to skateboarding. Mm-hmm. And it's like most of us. We're in the neighborhood, there's idle time is dangerous, right? Anywhere. Idle time is dangerous. Ideas come in. Bad friendships come in. Bad people come in. And they try to influence you and manipulate you. And skateboarding is one of those things, man, that there is no haters. Skateboarding is probably the only sport that you're self-motivated at, right? Skateboarding is also one of those sports that if you ollie off a roof and you land it, all your boys are psyched just like you. Yeah. Right? There's no haters. There's no competition. So I really love the skateboarding atmosphere, and I carry that same kind of persona and that vibe with me to this day because I want to be a guy that uplifts people and congratulates people and says, hey, man, you're wonderful, you're good. And that comes back from that upbringing. And then as far as, that, skateboarding also kept me out of the way from not wanting to join a gang or not wanting to run, and do harm to people. And it didn't interest me. What interested me was skateboarding, music, the beach, that kind of thing. I was a beach bum. And then I grew up breakdancing, so I loved music since I was a kid. And then, when I got about 16, 17, I started making music, producing music just for fun. And Goldie Loke was my neighbor. Goldie Loke is from a group. It was called the East Siders. I don't know if you're familiar with that group, but it was called Snoop Dogg Presents the East Siders. And we grew up together, so we ran into each other skateboarding. And he told me, hey, Nut, I'm making music. I said, oh, cool. What? I'm making beats. Let's hook up. And then we hooked up. We ended up making some music together. And it was always a way to, for me, it was always a way to try to stay in a zone, in a place where I can be, where I could be thinking about bettering, trying to be the best. I am infatuated with trying to be the best. Mm-hmm. I am infatuated with being a savage, but in control. That's it. Huh. You know what I mean? Yeah. I am a super competitive man. I want to be the best, bro, in everything I do, but I'm also in charge of the way I act.
Very conscious.
Yes, yeah. I'm in control, because then if not, then I'm just out of control, right? I want to be number one, and I want to do all the cool stuff, and I'm going to work hard at it. I'm going to get it done, but I'm also not going to hurt nobody in that process. You know what I mean? So I'm infatuated with being good at things. I want to master things, I don't know how that is or what that is. I think a lot of it is probably from my brother's upbringing, teaching me, pushing me. You're the best at this. You're the best at that. Like, focus on this, focus on that. My sisters too were the same way towards me. So yeah, that was a good way for me to stay away from trouble. It doesn't mean I didn't get into trouble. Because, trouble finds you, you know what I mean? And when you're a young boy, young man, teenage boy, you're going to find trouble because you're just a knucklehead and you're running around. And then I was about 16 when I robbed the 7-Eleven. I robbed the 7-Eleven in Long Beach. I robbed it 3 times in one night. And I went to juvenile hall.
Oh, wait, hold up. How did you do it 3 times in one night?
I just kept going back. I just kept going back. I kept going back.
Like you would wait 15 minutes, or like you would wait
a couple hours probably,
you
go back.
While the cops were still there. Or what?
Yeah, I would go back, and it was more like stealing beers and chips, But the third time, the guy tried to grab me, and I went like this. So they tried to say I have a gun, and I had to go through a court process. And then they found out I got an 8th grade education. They found out that I only went to 8th grade, and during that time was when they had just passed that law that if you don't go to school, your parents are going to be held liable. So they were trying to give my mom a charge, get her in trouble. Yeah. So yeah, man, I did run into trouble. I was more like a travieso, you know. Okay. I wasn't into gangs, and I didn't want to hurt anybody. Doesn't mean I didn't get into my little scuffles and my things, but for the most part, man, I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. I wasn't. Like I said, I would hang out with a couple skaters, and then we'd be in competition, and I would end up being better than them. Then I would go to the better guys, hang out with them, skate with them, beat them, go with the better guys. So I was always
upgrading.
Yeah, I was very competitive, and I wanted to be the best, and in everything that I do. I can even to my music, the music career, the music stuff I did. I was the only Mexican in the studio in a room full of black guys producing, and getting picked because I had that same mentality. Is like, all right, I'm gonna make sure when they play my beat that the woofers catch on fire. Yeah. It was very. I was very driven to stand out, very driven to make sure that they know who's making these beats, or where'd this beat come from. Oh, the little Mexican kid made it. Hey, cuz, that's a slapper, low. I had a lot of that going on. But yeah, it was my childhood was amazing, bro. My childhood was amazing. Even though all that stuff happened, I go back and think about it, like it's incredible. It's incredible what I got to do. Yeah,
but let me ask you something. Did you always feel like it was amazing?
Yes.
You did?
I didn't even know I was poor till I was older. My mom did the best,
That's
she
good.
did the best that she could with what we had, I posted a picture the other day of me, a school picture, because I always say, man, we do these backpack events and back to school drives, and we try to get shoes and clothing for children. And I always share, like, man, I never went to back to school shopping once ever. And, probably people were like, yeah, sure, bro. So I shared a school picture of me in school. And you could see there's maybe 30, 50 kids in the picture. They're all wearing something nice. I'm wearing the dustiest T-shirt in the world, bro. It looks like somebody grabbed a chocolate pie and just smashed it on my shirt. But guess what I was doing more than anybody else in that photo? I was smiling from ear to ear, bro.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So it didn't bother me.
Yeah. So you were how can I say? You weren't you weren't bothered. You were comfortable in the situation. You liked it, but I feel like that's probably also because you always felt like you were trying to be better. You always trying to so you never felt stuck. I feel. Well,
no, I didn't.
But maybe at one point, but I feel like since that urge that you said that you always wanted to get better, you never really felt like you were stuck in a place. You felt like you could always get that better.
Right.
And I know you say that your brother, and your sisters always motivated you to do that, but there's a lot of people who don't have that. There's a lot of people who have to do that on their own, who have to motivate themselves. So given what let's say you learn from your brother motivating you, how does someone motivate themselves when they don't have anyone to count on?
A good question. To be honest, man, we didn't have internet, none of that. Nowadays, the internet could be your big brother. You can find so many motivational things online. You could read so many books for free now online. Yeah. You could search anything online. What are you suffering for? Oh, I think I might have depression. Google it. Hey, how do I start a business? Google it. How do I start a podcast? Google it, right? I have diabetes. I don't know what to do. I have diabetes, type 1 diabetes. Okay. Google it. How do I treat my diabetes? How do I eat better? Google it. Information is important. And as humans, the more information we take in, obviously not useless information, but something that applies to whatever you're trying to accomplish, right? A goal or something. Apply it and try it, and most people, man, it's unfortunate that most people quit before they even try. The problem is you got to try, and failure is only a lesson. Failure is only a lesson. To be completely honest, failing is okay. Failing is okay. A lot of people don't understand that, but failing is like is the master of teaching.
Yeah, I would like to say that failing is for sure gonna be the best lesson you're ever gonna get.
For sure.
The best
sure.
lesson. So as far as what I have understood, producing is making beats.
Yeah.
The sound.
The music.
Yeah, the music and how did you remember your first beat like the equipment? Were you
It was
on a table banging the table?
No. It was a drum machine. My sister Liz bought me. So my brother-in-law shows up to my house, and he says, "Yo, little T," his name's Tito too. "Yo, little T,
okay.
I made this beat." He was going to Long Beach City College, and at that time, his teacher was one of the ex-band members from Parliament Funkadelic. I don't know if you know who that is, but Atomic Dog.
No,
Atomic Dog.
I'm pretty young.
You know what it is.
No.
Dog catcher, do the dog catcher. You heard it.
I don't know.
Trust me, you heard it, bro.
Yeah.
It's a massive hit, especially in the hood. Every party plays it in the backyard.
Probably,
Anyhow, so one of the members from the band was teaching a music course, and my brother-in-law was taking it, and my brother-in-law was like a DJ, like a scratcher, like a you know, that kind of musician or whatever, a DJ, not even musician. And he said he came over to the house, and he said, "Yo, little T, I made a beat," and I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, "Yeah, check out this beat I made." He was driving a Saturn. Remember Saturns? Those old cars?
Those cars,
yeah. And so he puts the beat in the tape deck, and he's playing, you know, what he made. And I'm in awe, bro. I'm like, "You made this?" Like, I know him.
Yeah.
"You made this?" I'm like, "How?" He said, "Well, you know, at school we got these programs, you know, and we're putting that together." And in my head, I'm like, "I want to do that." Like, you know, I was like, right. This is what Dr. Dre does. Like, but now my brother-in-law's doing it. Like, he could do it, I could do it. So I was infatuated, bro. I was like, how do I do that? So then, like, about 2 weeks later, we had a party for my nephew Chris, who was a little kid, like maybe 5-6 years old, and he brings a drum machine with him, and he says, "Yo, little T, you want to make a beat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." So then he pulls it out, and then, you know, he's like, "Go for it." And I was just going on there, and he's like, "Yo, time out, dude! Like, you're doing too much. Like, you know, there's a count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's the beat. Okay. BPM, beats per minute. It's called. So you got to stay in that." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, boom, ka, boom, boom, boom. 1, boom, ka, boom, boom, boom. 2. Right? Okay. So I was in my head. I'm like, "Yeah, but dude, I'm hearing this beat in my head. Boom, 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 boom. Ka, you know, I'm doing all this stuff. You know, I'm like going crazy, dude." And he tells me, "Time out, man. Just do one thing at a time." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, just do the drum part, the boom, whatever you hear in your head to the count." So, all right, cool. So boom, ka, boom, 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 whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now the next part, do the snare, the clap, right? So boom, ka, boom, 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 ka, boom, ka. That's the next part. Yeah. So it's all layers, right? Layers. It's all layers. So once I got that down, I was like, "Yo, I made a beat. And I'm like, but I hear records that got this. What is that? What? Oh, it's hi-hat. Give it. Let me try it. You know. So I start boom, right. So I started building beat on the site, and then that night when he went home, I was like, "What the heck? I made a beat." So I lost my mind. So I called him that same night. I'm like, "Yo, T, hey man, you think I can make a beat like this on the machine?" So I'm beatboxing over the phone.
God, you're ready to go.
I was going crazy. I was ready to go.
You know? All your ideas.
Yeah, just like they just popped up. And now I think about it, my brother-in-law, he's probably like, my little brother-in-law's nuts. Yeah, you can do it, bro, for sure. Come over.
He's still your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
His name's Tito. His name's Tito.
Is
like
he
mine.
still a DJ or he?
No. He's not a DJ no more. Tito's probably 50 or something, you know, now, okay. 50 something. Okay. But yeah, he said, "Come to the house." So dude, I would take the bus from Long Beach to Downey to use his equipment, and then I was like, man, I want to make beats every day. So then I started taking the bus from Long Beach to Lawndale, which is pretty far, to Guitar Center. And I would go in there, use all the equipment. And then at the end of the night, right, where hey, we're about to close, I would say, hey, man, can I get a credit application? And they would be like, here you go. I was only like 16, 17. So they would come back and be like, hey, they said no. Because, I was too young, obviously, for
You were
credit.
just buying time.
No, I was hoping that they were going to let me get a credit without a job.
You didn't care. You were still signing up.
I wanted a drum machine. I wanted a beat machine no matter what. Without I wasn't even 18, bro, or had a job. I was still applying.
Yeah.
So I did that, bro. I would go there and they'd be like, here he comes again. Like, hey, can I get a credit application? The guy would be like, here you go. And then he would come back. He's like, they said no again, man. Sorry. I'd be like, damn,
Yeah, I think.
So,
I think there's a perfect opportunity of how someone could easily just blame the Guitar Center and be like, you know what, this isn't for me. I don't have the money for it. I don't have the credit for it. I'm never gonna do this ever again. And that's what a lot of people tend to blame the system. They tend to blame what was going on around them, that they couldn't do it. But you didn't give up, so let us know how you keep going.
So basically, I was going to my brother-in-law's house, my sister Liz's house, and then she finally said, I'm going to get it for you, but you're going to pay me back, And I was like, sick. I was like, all right. So I got a drum machine, and I mastered it within like weeks. Where my brother-in-law was calling me, and he had it for like a year.
Damn.
Like, yo, little T, how did you do that? How did you get that bass line to go brr, to brr? I said, oh, go in there and change the filters, and because in my head, I grew up listening to funk, Roger, Zapp, Parliament, Cameo, Barcades, all this, boom, all the funky stuff, So in my head, that's what I was hearing, I was hearing it. So when he heard me making beats. And like, yo, T, what do you think about this? He'd be like, how'd you make that sound like it's underwater? But like, oh. So basically, I took their presets, because, they come with their own sound. Presets, and I tweaked them out. It was like, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, yeah, bro. I just want it to sound like a fart's coming out. Right? So basically, I just made a fart,
It's all self-taught. You just by doing it.
Yes, I just got into it, did it. And then he pretty much was like, yo, dude, you mastered it. Like, what else you know how to do? Oh, I changed these, a lot of these machines are programmed by Japanese, and, gangster music, it's got to, boom, it's got to have that round bass, right? And they had a lot of kicks that sounded like a, like a stomp, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, dude, there's no way this is going to work for what I'm trying to do. So I figured out how to deprogram some of the kicks and recreate them, reshape them. And I was making my own sounds. So I got pretty good at it. And then I was like kind of stuck. Like, all right, I need something else, because like, what's the next level of this? So then I had a job. My sister Liz, I paid my sister back. I was making monthly payments. I think it was like $189 a month or something. I was just a youngster, but I was.
So that was your real line of credit right there.
Yeah, my sister. Yeah, my sister believed in me. My sister said, well, you're coming over here every day. You're calling Tito every day to come make beats. Like, you really like
just leave us alone.
No, she was more like she saw that I was interested, and she saw that my focus was on that,
the commitment was there.
So then my other sister, Alicia, I told her, sis, because when I got out of juvenile hall, I moved there because they give you all these conditions. Don't hang out on this street. Don't hang out on that street. Like, I live on that street. What happened
with juvenile hall?
Yeah, so I went to juvenile hall. It sucked, and then I got out.
Why'd you go?
For robbing the 7-Eleven.
Oh, that's right. How long were you in there for?
A little while.
A
little while. Yeah, a little while. It was pretty depressing in there. It was pretty sad.
I thought when you told me that, I thought they probably would have just like released you to your parents or something like that.
No, man, no. The judge, he came down on me, bro. So basically, my public defender told me, hey, they found out I didn't go to school. They found out I was a little menace, right? And they said, the public defender said, man, the judge, he wants you to do this, and that. And I did that and far more, right? So he said, the public defender told me, man, you're one of the best kids I represented. Like, you got a job, you're getting straight A's, you're going to school, you got your teachers writing about what kind of good kid you are. Like, it looks like this was good for you. So he told me, don't worry about it. You're not going to get no jail time. You're going to get probation. You did everything the court asked and more. So when I went in, I was all happy, like, all right, cool, we're going to get probation. And I stand up, and the judge says, hey, Rodriguez, oh, okay, cool. You're doing great. Oh, your teachers are right. That's excellent. But I feel that you should go to jail for a little bit.
Fuck. That's fucked up.
Scumbag,
That's fucked up.
Scumbag, yeah. So, yeah, they sent me, and that was a change, a defining moment in my life, That made me change, bro. Because I had broken my mom's heart many times before that, but nothing to that degree where she was crying in front of me. And I felt really bad, like, damn, I let my mom down, So that changed me, bro. I went to juvenile. My mom was bringing me cookies, yeah, and I'm eating there, and then she's crying, and I'm just like,
you didn't even want the cookies.
No, I'm like, I don't ever want to see my mom cry like this again, So that I changed, bro. That was a moment in my life. I was like, all right, jail's not for me, and hurting my family and letting them down is not something that I want to do ever again. Yeah. So that from there on I changed. But going back to the music thing, so I hit my sister Alicia up, which is my other older sister, the one I moved to her house, and was like, sis, I need a computer and I need another keyboard. It's like, well, how much you need? I'm like, well, it's expensive. It's like $4,500. She said, all right, well, you're working now, so I'm gonna open you a line of credit. And she gave me a credit card that had like 20 grand on it. Put it in my name.
What the fuck? How?
I blew it. I went in there and bought all kind of stuff. I went in there and bought $16,000 worth of stuff or something. Yeah, I went in there and bought a couple keyboards, speakers.
How much were you making at the time?
Not like nothing like that. It was more of a dream of go. Move that pillow a little bit. We're melting over here. Thank you. Appreciate that, Rezo. Yeah. So yeah, I was just trying to make some music, and when you're a young man, you're just going with the flow, and you're like, you're going to get it, you're going to have, do whatever it takes, That's kind of what I was thinking, and that's kind of when it all started to happen, is I teamed up with Goldie, who's one of the East Siders, and one of the first songs we made was called Five Doves. It was about tires that go on Dayton's. It's about lowriders. 520s, that's what they're called, the tires that go on theirs. And so we sampled a song from Cameo. It was called Strange. And the loop goes doom, 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 doom. So I sampled that, and then we did a song about low riding and 520s and that deal. And when we went back to the neighborhood, everybody was like, "Oh, this is a banger! This, hey, cuh, hey, low, hey, this is a banger, cuh." It was that kind of deal going on. And so right then and there, I knew, like, oh, dang, we got something cool. But we never knew that we were on to something big, Yeah. It's more like, let's do something cool together. Let's have some fun. But, yeah, it turned into something incredible. I launched a music career from there. Goldie, went all over the world, too, and did a bunch of cool stuff with Snoop. He started a group with Snoop called the East Siders. You ever heard the song, I Love It? When the homies come through, Blue, tell me what you're going to do. That's them. That's the East Siders. Yeah, so that's one of the members. I got to produce on Snoop's movies. I got to produce on a couple of other big artists' records, and then I started a band called the Pricks, and we got to travel all over, bro. Hawaii, country. Had a pretty big following. It was fun, I had a fun life, and then I had a daughter, my daughter Mia, and then I just said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna walk away from the gangster music, the West Coast rap music, because it was super derogatory. It was like,
your band was that kind of music?
No, my band was positive music. My band, The Pricks, was it's like an oxymoron. The name's crazy, but the name's crazy, but the music was super positive. It was good messages. But yeah, I walked away to start The Pricks because my daughter was born, and was like, okay, all we talk about is women, degrade women. They're bees, they're hoes, and I'm like,
you're like, this switched up ASAP.
My daughter's under that. Even though I had a mom and 5 sisters, that never crossed my mind.
Not until you had a daughter.
Yeah, so then I created the Pricks, and we had fun, man. We had fun. Kendrick Lamar opened up for the Pricks. We were doing good. Wow. Yeah, Schoolboy Q opened up for the Pricks. Dude, there was a lot of we were creating a big following. Yeah. We had hundreds and hundreds of people tattoo our logo on them, bro. This is our logo right here. I don't know if you ever seen it, but you are really young, so probably not. But this was our logo here, the Pricks,
And so, what happened to that?
So what happened is the lead vocalist got married, and he wanted to have a family. And at the same time, I was kind of having a change of heart. I wanted to do something different also, and that's where Local Hearts was born. He stepped down, and then at the same time, I was kind of like, I'd done music for so long, and like I'd done a lot of cool stuff in music, but my heart is somewhere else. I was still kind of searching for a true meaning, a true purpose. And it was when you're young, or when you make money, or you've had some success, you're like, oh, I made it, I found my purpose. And we men, we're notorious for that. Especially if you're making money and you got a little career. And then I started giving back, and we gave back a couple things to some kids and some families, and that feeling and that joy I got was like, okay, this is my purpose.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you say that, because purpose is very important.
Yeah.
One to kind of navigate through life, and two, just to have peace of mind. Because when you don't have a purpose, when you don't know what you're doing, you can get lost, you can get distracted, when you get lost, you can get lonely, depressing, and all of that stuff. So I know from first hand that giving back is just different feeling. You just feel something that you just can't feel like doing anything else. Like you said, right? Like doing mind altering things just to be comfortable in your own skin isn't really gonna solve anything.
Right.
But when you do find a purpose like that, and when you do give back, and when you're happy doing that, then I feel like it's easier to continue doing it.
Yeah.
And it's easier to not get tired. It's easier to not get bored. It's easier to wake up motivated to do it, and all of those things. So obviously you had to go through a lot, and I'm sure you had a lot of fun in the music and doing whatever it is that you did. Yeah, I bet. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough for you. It wasn't what you wanted. So a lot of people sometimes feel like their life isn't enough. Like they're like, oh man, maybe this isn't for me, and they're scared to take that risk, to go a different path, to try to do what they actually want to do. And I feel like, if we're being honest, the only reason why you like giving back is because you realize of everything that you've been through, even afterwards, right? Afterwards, where you were at the time you didn't realize, and maybe a lot of the kids that you help, they don't know, but their parents know, and eventually the kids are gonna know, and the kids are gonna remember, damn, that was the Hood Santa that was there, and helped us out, or whatever the case may be. But how do people find their purpose? What advice can you give for finding purpose?
You know what? Every man needs a purpose.
Yeah.
If you're not purpose driven, you're gonna be a mess.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna ever find that happy zone or that comfort zone. Purpose. There's a lot of ways to find it. You definitely gotta look for things that bring joy, right? Mm-hmm. Bring joy, bring happy. Happy thoughts. You'll find it. You'll find it because you're gonna have that thing, that knock on your heart, like saying, okay, this feels comfortable. This feels like what I need to be doing. Like, I'm comfortable here, right? Like, this feels wonderful. That's how I found it. It was when I handed some kids some stuff, and they were like, this for me? Something as simple as that. Like, I can have this? And my response was so simple, like, yeah. How much? I said, no, it's free. And then just her smile was like, whoa, I've never felt that before. And I've had big checks. I've had accolades, right?
Yeah, I see the things you have on your wall.
And you think that those are cool, but they don't compare to that. It's a different kind of feeling. It's something that has nothing to do with money. It's something, there's purposes that are driven by money, but for me, as being a director of a nonprofit, a servant of people, right? Servant of the community, for me, it's more the reward of me knowing that they got something. New pair of shoes, new backpack, or we can feed them for the holidays, or we can give them toys for Christmas, or we can set up a day where they can come and get haircuts, etc. Right? Yeah. So those are things that drive me. So those are purpose driven things, right? For me. So, for people, if you're a musician, if we talk about musicians, that could be your purpose. How are you going to know? Because you're ripping on a guitar and people are asking you to come over and record with them, right? Or if you're a rapper, right? Or whatever, an artist, let's use Reso, what his purpose is, art, right? That's what he's doing now. We don't know that. Only he can answer that. But it seems like he's really good at it, right? And he's doing amazing. So there's a purpose there. There's a purpose for him to wake up and say, "Hey, I need to get better. And what are the steps for me to get better? Or who do I look at and how do I compare?" There's tons of ways to search for purpose, but to find one's purpose, you got to dig deep down. Brain matter. You got to look in there and say, okay, what haven't I touched? I've been in this career, doing this for 10 years, but how come I'm still in the same space, or how come I can't get over this hump? Well, maybe there's something you're not searching. There's always a way to get over the hump. There's always a way to get over that block wall, that mental block. Sometimes it's taking a step back, and saying, okay, well, no wonder I can't get over this block. I've been doing the same thing for 10 years. I got to figure out how to pivot, slow down, make a right instead of going left all the time. Going right is going to get something different, right? So sometimes people, men, I can only speak for me. I'm a man, right? In my examples is like, don't be afraid to try things, right? Especially if it's something that you love, something that you like doing, and don't be afraid to push the envelope, to push, the door as far as it can go. Don't be afraid, because really when you go halfway at stuff, you're like setting yourself up for failure. You got to be committed, and you got to go all the way. If not, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then in terms of finding purpose, I feel like people should also be comfortable knowing that I feel like maybe this is something you experience, like it's okay to have a change of purpose.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like maybe
I had one. Yeah, I was a musician.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's totally fine. Okay. Yeah. Like maybe you feel, some people may feel like this is their purpose, but they're not happy with it. And maybe you gotta be patient, and one day you're gonna see that maybe you're gonna have a change of purpose, and that's totally okay.
Yeah.
But you have to be open to taking that risk and to get out that comfort zone and go ahead and do that, so you can go ahead and change. And for me personally, like I know you say like sometimes like a lot of the money, and like for me personally, a lot of the followers doesn't mean anything. And I can tell you that I can have so many thousands of likes, but when I go to a funeral and I have and I go to release does, and the person that hired me is 2-3 times of my age, and they approach me and they tell me, "Young man, that was a very beautiful service. Thank you so much. Where did you learn how to do that? How can you do that like at such a young age and speak like that, carry yourself like that?" It's much more than any like, or much more than anything like that. So
it's genuine.
Yeah, and it's real. Yeah.
Real.
So if you feel like you're lost, just make sure to be patient and like, it's okay to have a change of purpose.
For sure.
But you have to look for a purpose. Because if not, and I'm sure for a lot of people, like you said, men, I'm sure a lot of you guys may think that, going out and getting women is your purpose, or whatever the case may be. But if you're feeling empty at the end of the day,
waste of time.
Then you wasted your time. And your friends might think you're cool. Whoever might think you're cool. But at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable, like you said, in your own skin, then you maybe need a change of purpose, and you need to find
I read
purpose.
something pretty cool on the internet. It said, only a fool prays all night and wakes up and plays video games.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the best thing to end the show, guys. So make sure you don't blame the system. And if you pray at night, don't play video games in the morning.
Right?
That's perfect. Well, so special shout out to Tito, a.k.a. The Hood Santa, for allowing us to use his space here, for coming on the show. So if people want to go ahead and incorporate themselves, or how about the Local Hearts Foundation, be a part of it, how can they
please get involved, because we're advocating for low income families, under resourced areas, our street vendors, like, as we're doing a lot of stuff for them. You can reach out to me personally at the Hood Santa, or the foundation, the website www.localheartsfoundation.org, or the Instagram, which is Local Hearts Foundation. But I got a saying, it takes us to save us, and that's true to the core. It's really us stepping up for our people, And it's incredible to see, like, you know, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but I'm starting to see, like, you know, young brown, you know, Latinos, young brown Latinas stepping up and helping, because that's what we need. We need to stick together, be united, and we're going to get way more accomplished and way more done, not just here, but on the, you know, federal level. If we keep advocating and helping each other. But hey, thanks for having me on, brother.
No,
I appreciate
thank you.
you.
I appreciate it. So thank you guys for tuning in to the second episode of the Don't Blame the System podcast. Shout out to Resoe as well. Thank you for coming on, taking the time. So remember, guys, make sure you guys just stay positive, don't blame the system, and just learn how to play the game. So thank you guys.
Shout out to Los Pinches Gummies.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Los Pinches Gummies. Make sure you guys tap in at Los Pinches Gummies and check out at Local Hearts Foundations and at The Hood Santa. So, and at Reso_27. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.